again, having issues uploading my stream. I hope I'm on air. That is too far away. We're gonna have to go up in the sky here. Welcome back to No Man's Sky. This is Tim. Just gonna make sure I'm broadcasting. Yep. We're good. Alright, now let's take a look at the planet there and see if we can find that abandoned outpost. Sorry about the issues before. I'm not sure why it didn't broadcast before. I hope I don't have any more issues. So let's head to this abandoned building. Gonna have to go around to the other side of the planet for this, it looks like. Gotta admit, I'm a bit disappointed in the reviews that I've seen so far for No Man's Sky. You know, of course everybody has their own tastes and they're entitled to their own opinions, but one consistent thing I see is people talking about how shallow this game is. And again, I think it's more a problem with the mindset of the goals you want to achieve in a game. I mean, we're so trained in modern gaming to go from point A to point B to point C. When gaming was first, video gaming first started, it was all about the high score. I mean, the only goal you had was a personal one, and that was to have a better score than someone else, or the best score at the arcade that you went to on Space Invaders or Defender. But with modern gaming, you see a lot of narrative storytelling being the goal of the game, to get to the end of the story. It's become more about almost an interactive multiple choice movie in games like The Last of Us. I mean, yes, The Last of Us has lots of action in it and things, but the narrative is pretty much directed by the designers of the game. Or BioShock Infinite would be another, and there's nothing wrong with either of those games. But the point is I think we've seen enough of those games now. You know, I could go on and on. Red Dead Redemption, even though it has a semi-open world, you are eventually guided to a very specific ending. Games like The Witcher and Dragon Age Inquisition, the entire Dragon Age series for that matter, it's become more and more about story. Or, in the case of games like Call of Duty, it's become about the kill count in multiplayer. Which again harkens back to Space Invaders. But the point I'm trying to make is there's goals here too. They're just not the goals we're used to playing. We're used to getting high scores. We're used to getting good stats in team death matches and all that. We're used to being guided by a very focused end game to specifically what story the programmers want to tell. But in a game like No Man's Sky, why can't the goal be, I want to explore more planets than my friends do? I want to find the tallest cliff to jump in the ocean off of and save a screenshot of it. I want to find the freakiest alien life I can. There's nothing wrong with those goals. They're just goals that we're not used to setting. In Minecraft, we saw people's mindsets are able to change. My goal is to build the coolest virtual block world I can get my hands on, or I can build. And we've seen some incredibly cool stuff from people. So I love how gaming is becoming more and more open world, where you can kind of set your own path in the middle of a game, but the beginning and the end are kind of set for you. But why does the end have to be a definitive ending? Why does an end game have to exist? Again, the comparison to those early arcade games, there was no end game to them. In Defender, there were 5 levels of difficulty that just progressively looped. And you just kept going until you ran out of extra lives. And your success was measured by your score, and even in some of the pro players back in the 80s, literally by their endurance, how long they could stand at that machine and physically perform in front of that machine. There were guys that would set records on some of those old arcade machines that would go for like 18 hours, but they had no goal other than that. So I'm a little befuddled, I guess, because I'm 50 and I come from that generation where we didn't have to have a goal. So I just don't understand how they're saying it's shallow because there's not deep lore in the game. There's not an engaging story in the game. I think it's the imagination of some of these reviewers. Their own imaginations are limiting them, that they have forgotten how, and this is no slight against them, but I think all this hand holding in modern video gaming has really robbed a lot of gamers of that ability to fill in the blanks in stories like, in games like No Man's Sky or Kerbal Space Program. That's another one that comes to mind that really not an end goal in Kerbal Space Program as far as I know. And I kind of pity people that can't do that. That can't, they've got to have that closure or in whatever form. I mean, I remember back when I was a little kid, and this we all have in common. Doesn't matter if I'm older than any of you that are listening to this stream or watching it. As a 6-year-old boy, loved going out with my friends playing cops and robbers. And the story of cops and robbers was, you're the good guys, we're the bad guys. Let's get our water guns and our Nerf guns and just go shoot each other. The goal of that was to simply have fun. There was no other goal. When you get on a bike, BMX bike as a kid, and you want to go off-road and practice your jumps and stuff, I mean, there's no end game to that. There's no closure. So why is it expected that all video games have to do that? I kind of don't understand what's wrong with a game that has no definitive, hey, go that way, do this thing, do that thing. And I think No Man's Sky is starting, at least the reviews are starting to get a little bit on the side of being unfair to it, because you're bringing, these reviewers are bringing expectations for a game to be all of this exploration, again, which is the point, is the exploration. It's not the story. It's not the getting to an end game. Although there's a center of a galaxy, that's just a carrot to just lure you in a particular direction, and it's nothing more than that. I would imagine I haven't made it there yet. But for these reviewers to knock a game for not having a story when it has been clear in the 3 years that it's been publicly announced under development, it was never meant to be a deep game in the sense of story or in the sense of narrative. They never promised that. I don't remember any of them ever saying that that was a thing for this game to do. There are other games, lots of fantastically well-made other games to provide you with the narrative. No Man's Sky wanted to provide you with this endless sandbox of a universe of wonders for you to just go out and explore. And sure, some of the creatures look similar. Sure, some of the planets look similar. But I imagine that's true of the real universe too. I don't think it's quite as simplistic as the creature design in here. But I do think that if we had the ability to explore Earth-like planets, there would be certain evolutionary patterns based on, like, you know, all planets that have air like we do, a gravity like we do, that although they would have incredibly varied species, those species would be close enough to one another where you could maybe see a relationship, even an interplanetary relationship. I don't mean they're genetically related, but I mean the environment that they are produced from. Similar environments would produce similar sorts of life. So I don't really hold No Man's Sky accountable for creatures and plants and things looking similar, although, you know, I do wish there was a little more visual variety, and I think there's much more variety in the real universe. I do think that as I said before, like, you know, all planets that are like Earth would have produced similar types of life. All oceans that contain H2O, they may be all kinds of different aquatic life under the water. But I bet an Earth-like planet that is, say, 5 billion light years from here, that has an ocean of H2O and near Earth gravity and similar weather patterns, would probably have some form of a jellyfish somewhere on it in its ocean, just like we have here. That would not surprise me at all. But as to this game being shallow, I just, you know, you don't look at a chocolate chip cookie and fault it for not tasting like a hamburger. It was never meant to taste like a hamburger. No Man's Sky was never meant to have really strong narrative. It was meant to have a really strong universe for you to explore and discover. But enough of me on my pedestal. Let's get back to the game. Sorry, I got a little bummed out when I saw a review, about the 4th or 5th review, that mentions that this game is shallow, and I just couldn't disagree more strongly. Don't think that's the case. The birds are incredibly hard to catch with your visor to catalog, and it can be the most aggravating thing you do when you've got just that one species left and you know it's something that flies in the air and it's darting around like that, and you can't keep it in your sights long enough for the visor to kick in and start its analysis. Real pain in the butt. There we go, there's some gold down there. And to put my love for this game another way, my reward is not this emerald right here, which is worth a lot of money. The only reason I'm collecting it is because everything I'm doing in this game that is not exploration is fuel to get to explore more of this universe. So the goal of the game for me is not this. It's not finding out what the Atlas does, although that interests me. It's not learning the languages of all the alien races, although that interests me too. It's this right here. It's turning my head and seeing an image like that, and knowing I'll probably never ever see that exact image again. That is my reward for playing No Man's Sky, right there. Or turning my head and seeing some giant creature about to try to eat me. Or pop into a star system and smack in the middle of a space battle that I didn't expect. It's all those unexpected moments. Some beautiful, some frightening. That's what I love.
Units received. Thermal protection falling.
See if we can find a little more hospitable planet.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
clip the atmosphere.
Detected.
Uh-oh.
Warning. Threat detected.
Yeah, we know you're gonna attack me, so let's just
Approaching.
get ready for you. Is someone helping me?
Critical damage taken.
I'm about to bite it here.
Technology recharge. Shield down.
Yeah. That's gonna be it. Ouch. Generation 2.
Technology offline.
So cloning is evidently going to be a thing in the future. Let's find my grave. Nope. There you are. There we go. I think we got all of it back. space station. I have an Atlas Pass now. I meant to show you guys this last video, but with a version 1 Atlas Pass, you can open these doors on the left side of the space station now. And there's a few little goodies. The most important of which is right here. You will always be able to get a suit upgrade. You still have to pay for them, but it makes it easier to find them. And then there might be one or two other things in here, depending on how generous that particular station is. Here it looks like there's just some plans for you to get a little extra carbon. And there also may be other doors, but they require higher level passes. That requires a version 3 Atlas Pass, which I do not have. I don't know of anyone I've watched that uses those stairs over there. Everybody does what I'm doing right here. Jetpack. It's kind of a crime if you don't use your jetpack for stuff like that. I mean, why would you need stairs? How? Open the pod bay doors. How? I don't know whether to keep that or not. I'm not going to sell it for less, for 4.8% less, that's for sure. Don't really have anything to sell. One legitimate gripe that I've heard from reviewers is they wish you had more freedom to control your ship, and I agree with that. I played the original Elite back in the mid-80s, and one of the things that did make that game so challenging and awesome at the same time was you really had to learn how to fly your ship. Here it feels like there's a little too much hand-holding. I know they wanted to make the game as accessible as they could so that you spend all this time exploring these worlds. And I dig that. But having this much hand-holding on your ship flight, like if you want to go to a planet, all you do to go to a planet literally is hold L1 and R1 and point at the planet. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to worry about coming in too fast, landing. And when you dock at a space station, it's all auto dock. And I would really like them to remove this safety feature right here, where you just cannot crash, even if you wanted to. Because, of course, crashing sucks. But the cool thing is if they removed it, that safety feature. So I don't know if that would break the game or not, but you could fly under these arches and things, and that would just make the game that much more exhilarating. Some very strange formations on this planet. Like that there, that looks almost man-made, does it not? Or intelligently designed. Oh yeah, look at that. Looks like maybe once there was a great civilization that lived here. Peaceful climate, relaxed, no flora or fauna. So it does not look like... Let's check the temp. Negative 16.7 degrees, so a little chilly. Wow. See, that's what does it for me. First, some people say, you're just looking at things. Yeah, that's kind of the point. Like, name a place on Earth where you would see something like that. It's amazing. It's one of the reasons I chose this game to stream. Because some of these worlds I actually want to like be able to pull up and show my family and friends and say, well, look at this. This is just awesome. Wonder how deep that water goes down there. We may have to find that out. Wow. Very close-up view of some ships flying by. See how we are on fuel.
Technology recharge.
We're gonna need some more hyperdrive fuel shortly. Cannon damage. I'm gonna need to get some iron. Ah, there was plutonium there. Oh well, there'll be plutonium other places. Not quite where I wanted to land, but not too far off the beaten path. Wow. That just so looks like the crashed ship, I guess, of the Prometheans in the original 79 Alien.
Life support power low.
See, that's one of the creepy parts, is according to my onboard systems, it said that this planet is lifeless, and yet I'm hearing these creature sounds.
Life support power low. Technology recharge.
Yeah, free flight would be very nice. And I think they might be, I mean, I don't know how the collision detection is on this game, but if they could get that to work, I think it could be fairly easily done in a patch. Excuse me. Not talking as much in this video as I was in some of my earlier ones, because quite frankly I haven't had any sleep since before this time yesterday, and it's starting to wear on me a little, so if I go quiet for periods at a time, sorry about that. Might be more entertaining when I don't speak. See a strange vision. A small winged creature lands on the very top of the monolith. Suddenly its eyes glow red, and its head revolves in a full circle. Screams for mercy in an ancient voice that wants itself dead. The poor animal has clearly broken its neck, but the monolith's power of possession still animates it. I wonder if the right thing to do would be to shoot it, put it out of its misery. No, I'm not gonna mess with... I don't want my head spinning around, breaking my neck, so... Better you than me, buddy. Possession ends, poor winged creature drops dead, all else is silent. And I got nothing for it, so I guess I should have shot him. Fairly decent sized station. Observatory hums gently as it scans the sky. The trader that manned it was clearly looking for something in the cosmos, and it seems the observatory may have found it. If I can decipher the code, etc. 9183, 1839. 8391. Next will be 3918. Love that pullback too. It's awesome.
Life Life support power low.
Nice, we got a beam intensifier. Other games that I love that I may or may not stream in the future, pretty much any roguelike that I have on the PS4. Games like Neon Chrome, Counter Spy, Brutal, Dragonfin Soup. Old school gamer, so I like that randomness and difficulty that comes with games like that. Fallout 4, it's not a roguelike, but before this game came out, it was probably my favorite and most played game on the PS4, and it still is. We are going to stop in that facility right there before we head over to that tower. Reload accelerant. A little better quality than the one I know. Beacon sent from light years away. Waiting response. 9780 7809 8097 0978. Another reason I decided I wanted to stream this one is because I figured 18 quintillion planets, how much of the game could I possibly spoil? Realistically. Maybe 1/quintillionth of 1%. There's where we're headed. Hello. Maintenance calling. Sure. HAL 9000's on the fritz. Alright, so these inputs are 99, 92, 86, 81. This one is a mathematical problem. Anyone watching will give you a second to figure it out before I come up with the answer. It's not, none of them are really too hard. So now that I've given you time. 99 minus 7 is 92. 92 minus 6 is 86. 86 minus 5 is 81. 81 minus 4 is 77. I'd also love to see someone tackle a procedurally generated Grand Theft Auto Saints Row-esque game. That would be cool too.
Life support power low.
Oh. Forgot the most important part. But his plant really doesn't look all that threatening during the day. Although as barren as this one is, I kind of half expect a land at one of these outposts and open the door and there's Matt Damon. So there's still 2 more items I want to check out on this planet before I take off for good. If I have enough fuel, which I got tons of.
Technology recharge. Technology recharge. Technology recharge.
And those 2 things are this crash site over here and this manufacturing facility, which I'm going to have to go up in space to get to. But we're going to go take a look at this crash ship. I couldn't find me a landing spot. There we go. Iridium, I do need some of you. Thank you.
Life support power low.
Yeah, don't really like the look of this ship. So I think I'm going to leave it here for now. Hope you're enjoying the stream as much as I am. I know I'm tired in this one, but really am enjoying the game. So till next time, this is Tim saying, go play.